I'm my clients' results, but you got to open your mind, people. You've got to expand your mind. Like, there's other things I can do. Because, I was explaining to her, I said, listen, when I was a massage therapist, like in the height of my day, when I was doing like 8, 9 hours a day, clients and stuff a day, and it was like, I had a surgery on my hand. I had a removal of a ganglion cyst. So because they botched the surgery, I couldn't use my hand. The first 3 months, it was very swollen. It looked like Dr. Doolittle's hand. I mean, it was big. So they were like, are you still going to work? Yes, I still have to work. What did I do? I used my hands, my feet, my elbows. This was out of commission. So I had to use other body parts to get through. For 6 months, I had no use of this hand. So I went back to my school, and my sensei and my other teachers was like, you're going to just do more mat-based type stuff on the table. And since then, I've never looked back.
Yeah.
So I don't just use, like, if I have to do a whole session with my hands, it feels weird.
Yeah.
It just doesn't give the result that I need to get. I don't get the leverage. I'm 5'2". Like I need to get that leverage to get the person results. So for somebody who had to use one hand and the rest of her body parts for 6 months, I had to figure it out to make sure that I was successful.
You before the pandemic, you were booked out like 8 months.
Yeah, because of the stuff that I did. And the owner, when she got a session with me, it only lasted 15 minutes because she was just so blown away. She said, it's unfair that I can only say you're the most qualified in here because you have figured out how to move beyond this construct of what massage is. I said, I've been doing this for so long. And it has nothing to do with that I've been in the industry for that long, but I had to figure out. And when you're an injured person and you still got to work, you're going to figure out how to work without having injuries.
Yeah.
Till this day, I don't have the full, range in this hand, but as I said, I tell my therapist, I use my knees, I use my hands, I use my feet, I use my elbows, I use my forearms. If I could use my nose, I would use my nose.
So if I had to ask, and granted, we haven't had a conversation before, so I never know who I'm interacting with or what their educational background has been. Like, how much has, from, it sounded like Psyche Truth videos all the way through like the subscription service, how is the instruction that I've given online changed that?
I like the way you instruct because it's very concise. It flows very well, and it just solidifies the creativity that I come up with in the session. It's very fluid. It's not like sequence based. I don't like learning from educators where it's like, okay, you have to do, 3 strokes of this and you have to do 5 of this to kind of get this result. I don't like that really hard outline of something. Now, if you want to give someone a foundation, like your workbooks and stuff like that to kind of springboard off of, perfect. But when you're teaching and your videos is very kind of like, oh, okay, that makes sense to do that, or an alternative, or just kind of even how to interact with the model on the table, how to interact with that client.
Yeah. So
just kind of constantly watching your videos, it just kind of solidifies what I'm already thinking, or it might kind of give me a new perspective on how to approach something. I'm like, okay, maybe I should kind of think about the nuances of using my elbow in this way.
Have a conversation with you, it feels like I'm talking to myself.
Right.
The stuff that you say.
That's why I like the way you teach. That's why I'm like, well, I'm never going to get off the subscription because this is a person I feel like is like me that's out in the world. Like you do so much out there. And I'm like, I've been sending people to your website. I'm like, just pay for it. I've even, when I'm teaching, my therapist in the session, I'm like, you know what? I want you to do this. And I have them sign on and I go on and I let it play all day in the break room. Just watch these videos. I don't need to explain nothing to you. Just watch some of the videos. And some of them will be like, yeah, I need to get on that service. And even a few of them have like, when you put up the free one, I was like, take the free course. Just sign up for the free course.
I don't know. I for some reason, I'll sometimes rub people the wrong way. I don't know if it's just verbal stuff or me lacking like tone in some way. So people will get angry. What I find so interesting is the people who get most frustrated are massage therapists or facility owners or school owners. They're like, this is not massage. It's never the public. The public is
It's
like,
never the public.
the
No,
client,
it's not.
the
They
client will
don't care.
get
They
on
love it.
my mat and they're like, Robert, I don't understand. Why isn't this everywhere? I don't even know how to explain what the fuck you just did. This is amazing.
Right.
And
The
I'm
thing
like,
is, I start every session doing this on the table. I said, I don't care if you're 15 minutes late, 20 minutes late. This is how we start every session.
yeah.
And they're like, but I don't want to lose my time. You're not going to think about time when you get off and you feel much. Your pain level goes from a freaking 10 to a 4. You know what I mean? Like if I can even drop it one level for you,
Yeah.
give me that. That's all I ask. Just give me that.
And
so, yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, there's so much. Like I said, I feel like I'm talking to myself because it's interesting because I'll run into students like you or colleagues like you who kind of give me a feedback loop where I'm like, oh, it does work. Like our people are learning it and using it. But to hear students when they start using it and it's effective get pushback from the management, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like I can't operate in an industry that keeps saying what I do isn't massage.
To hell with them. That's all I can tell you. Because I mean, I'm a New Yorker. I'm a New Yorker. To hell with them, fuck them. But I'm just like, listen. If the only word I can use is massage, but I mean, people are like, well, what is this? Because this is not massage. I said, no. Well, you know what? Use whatever word you want to call it. I don't care. I'm not going to fight you on it. I'm just going to tell you. I'm just going to keep rocking and doing what the hell I want to do. Either y'all keep up or y'all get left behind.
The therapist will get mad because I learned at the chiropractor's office I was at, it was the last time I worked for somebody else. The clients would come in and I'd say, hey, take off your shoes, lay down on the table like you are. I'm going to move you around. Yep. That same spiel. And they're like, I don't understand. I came for a massage.
I don't understand, right? I came for a massage.
And I'd say, listen, do you want a massage or do you want to get better?
Right. I said, do you want to get lotioned up or do you want me to actually get in there and do what I got to do?
And that'll piss off some therapists. They'll get very angry at that insinuation. But it's like, listen, I'm a problem solver. I don't like clients dictating what tools I use. I don't like clients dictating what tools you use. They usually don't even have an idea of what's going on in their bodies. We have to kind of work with them,
yeah,
to figure out, oh, yeah, no, their pecs are frozen forward. We got to get their chest open. So I understand from the feedback you gave me that you understand some of the basics of like how I'm putting it together.
Mm.
And I keep working on like the drip course to break it down piece by piece by piece, very systematically. Like
that's about the smallest
classes.
Yeah, that's about the smallest you can make it is a drip course. So for people who need keywords and all that stuff, it's just going to complicate your life trying to do all that for every video.
I don't have a problem making things more searchable, but you know what I keep doing? Like people keep going, well, why don't you use the same footage and like repackage it? And I'm like, no, why don't I just make more footage? They're like, I need to know how to work on ankles. I'm like, okay, here's the ankle section. And they're like, oh my God, you'll do that? And I'm like, yeah, why not?
Right.
Here's the thing. When the students ask, this is what they don't understand. When they say, we want a shoulder course, I'm like, okay, that'll be 30 hours. They're like, what? I'm like, no. Okay, I have to cover shoulder work on a table. I have to cover shoulder work in a chair. I have to cover shoulder work on a mat. Now I have to go into each individual muscle in the rotator cuff, talk about the nerves and the cardiovascular structures that go through the shoulder. And they're like, oh. So listen, I think this works well. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to explore tomorrow. I might try to get some people from the subscription to come in as a group and work with me so I can screen share like this and put some of this up tomorrow to see if I can work with them. I need to play with the software to make sure I can use it the way I want. And then if I'm able to do this, I think it'll add a layer, but I need to experiment with more people than just you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Definitely
listen,
feedback for it. But yeah, definitely if you put it in the group, I try to log on and work with you on the class.
Do you have any specific questions for me while I have you here?
Not at the top of my head. I'm still working through, I think one of the drip courses I'm in, you restructured it. I think it was
Yeah.
not the carpet one, but there was one.
So here's
I
what
went
it
in
is.
and I was like,
The
"Ooh, there was."
foundations, if you looked at the free upper back and neck course, that's
I think that's
essentially the
what it is.
same information in an hour. But
Okay.
the foundations upper back and neck course goes, here's a 5-minute video. Here's the muscle we work on. Here's its anatomy.
Yeah.
Here's the origin insertion. Here's how we're
Mhm.
talking to the client. It's like I'm just breaking it down into little bitty
Further.
pieces. Yeah.
Okay.
And the next drip course that I'm going to develop is low back for the table. What I'm literally doing is I'm going to wind up having the vault. They get full access to whatever they want to watch, just like this video, whenever they want to watch it. But they're going to be able to go to the drip course systematically and understand how I address upper back pain, then how I address lower back pain. Then we
Yeah.
get a chance to flip into the mat and say, this is how I address it on a mat. This is how I address
Yeah.
it on a mat. Yeah. Cool.
That'd be great.
So thank you so much for your
You're so
time.
welcome. I will see you later. Enjoy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
What's up, love?